Welcome everybody to another edition of the Countout. I'm Corey, and what I'm here to talk about is the greatest WrestleMania moments, top 10. Makes sense, because tomorrow's WrestleMania 30, and they have these things called WrestleMania moments. Makes sense to do a top 10 moments. These are my top 10 personal moments, I guess. These are the first 10 that kind of came to the top of my mind, and obviously I haven't watched WrestleMania as long as everyone else, or probably have as great as memories as like the older shows, except for the ones that are reclipped. But whatever, I digress. So let's start off with number 10. Edge spearing Mick Foley through a flaming table at WrestleMania 22. Now this was a huge WrestleMania match. I just remember how excited I was because I had a WrestleMania party, a bunch of people over, and I was super excited. And I just remember that hardcore match. It was such a brutal match, such a great match. And WWE really doesn't have those kind of. Well, no, granted they did have those kind of hardcore matches, but not like the ending of this match. WWE has never really used a flaming table before, at least to my knowledge. I don't think they ever have. That's more of an ECW thing, independent thing, or a Japan thing, or just anywhere else except for WWE. And to have that in a match at WrestleMania was just absolutely insane, especially with Edge spearing him through the table. Edge didn't have, it was just Edge. It wasn't like he had like a shirt on or anything like that would kind of help protect him, I guess, from the flames. I don't know. It was just such a memorable moment, especially when you look back and you look at the pictures, which is probably the picture I'm going to throw up, is where when Edge is through the table with Mick Foley and the flames are still kind of high in the air, reaching to the ceiling. They're not really reaching the ceiling, but you know what I'm saying. It's just such a cool moment thinking about it when he did that. Oh man, it's intense. Number 9. So entrances for WrestleMania have been kind of a big thing lately. I see John Cena always has usually a big entrance. JBL WrestleMania 21 came out, all the money's flying around. Rey Mysterio had, they have the bands playing now. But the first real big WrestleMania entrance, I think, is Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 12, before he fought Bret Hart, won the World WWF Championship for the first time. And he doesn't hang glide, but he comes down the rope from the top of the arena. I don't remember what it's called. What he's doing. He's holding the thing. He's gliding down. For some reason I cannot think of what it is in my mind, and I just decided not to Google it because I just didn't want to. Comes down, he lands in the crowd, and it's just, I don't know. That's always played back somewhere. It's showed a lot, and it's just like so great, man. It's just so cool. Kind of brought out that entrance, how big WrestleMania was, how big of a moment it really was to win the title at WrestleMania. And it really just kind of gave WrestleMania a whole new feel almost, especially with entrances now. So many grander entrances. Number 8, man, Edge cracking in twice in the top 10. Edge's spear to Jeff Hardy off the ladder. Now, WrestleMania 17 is considered one of the greatest WrestleManias. And this TLC match, second TLC match, was an amazing match, probably one of the best on the card. And there's so many great spots that I think are overshadowed, but this moment is just so great still. Jeff Hardy, hold on the belts, ladder's taken away from under him, he's kind of dangling there. Edge climbs up the ladder that's in the turnbuckle, or right next to the turnbuckle, climbs up, jumps across, spears him. Jeff Hardy falls, goes down. It's got the hard camera, the wide shot. The flashes are going. People are screaming. It just brings it's such a great moment. And this is one of those moments that obviously, from the moment it happened, 2001 to now, it's still almost being shown in clips and all that stuff. Whether it's not really being talked about as well, it's still shown. It's always being brought up and all that stuff. And those guys did a great job selling that spot, and it was just absolutely insane. It's probably one of the biggest WrestleMania spots that have ever happened. Number 7, Undertaker's return at WrestleMania 20. So Undertaker kind of came back to this American badass persona, the motorcycle and all that stuff. Fought Vince McMahon at Survivor Series. Kane came in, buried him alive, whatever. Oh my gosh, he's gone. WrestleMania 20, or Royal Rumble. Signs that he's coming back to Kane. Kane gets eliminated, other shows, and also WrestleMania, lights go down, dark blue, you hear Paul Bearer, I'm sorry, oh my gosh. I said that when I was practicing, kind of go over what I was going to say. I said Paul Heyman, I said, no, it's Paul Bearer, and I just did it now. So embarrassing. But, the monks come out with the fire, and they got on the stick, and he kind of just walks through, he just stands there, it's just got this eerie, the smoke at Madison Square Garden, it's just such a great feel, such an amazing feel to that moment, that match, and it was just Undertaker and he's had that entrance. That entrance is just so amazing, so crazy. Especially it was so much better because we haven't seen that entrance in such a long time. That was the first time we've seen that because he was the American Badass for, gosh, probably over 3 years. probably, yeah, a little over 3 years. So, I mean, it wasn't like, I don't know, that was crazy. And we got number 6, blood dripping down Austin's face, WrestleMania 13, fighting against Bret Hart for the WWF Championship in a submission match. Now, this moment obviously hasn't really been brought up as often because WWE, and the blood and PG and all that stuff now, but it was still such an iconic moment with Bret Hart getting Stone Cold in the sharpshooter. He's holding him there. Stone Cold's trying to reach for the rope. He's already busted open, blood coming down his face. He's like screaming. It's like cutting. It comes in between his teeth. It looks like he's almost lost a tooth, and just that face and just crazy. And it really kind of was the beginning of Stone Cold because obviously he, it's never give up or so. Well, not really never give up. That's more of a John Cena thing. Never give up, never surrender. That's not really a John Cena thing. That's from a movie. But but it was just so great seeing that, and it's just really kind of helped create that character of Stone Cold, being this guy and this tough guy, and it was just such a great look, and it made Stone Cold so strong and Bret Hart so strong, that he didn't tap out. He lost the match, but he didn't tap out. He had passed out from the pain, from the blood, and the blood just kind of helped. I mean, I understand where WWE comes, blood maybe isn't the best now, especially with the younger viewers and all that stuff, and for certain matches, blood needs to be used. I think it really helps tell a story, and that was just one of those matches that it just told the story, and it was incredible. Number 5, Icon versus Legend, WrestleMania 18, the Hulk versus The Rock. Now, they had The Rock come back and obviously fight John Cena. It was supposed to be one of those big spectacles. I didn't watch it live. I didn't watch WrestleMania 28 or 29. I watched it on the WWE Network, and it was cool, but I don't think I'm not as big as a WWE fan as I was before. So seeing this moment, Hulk Hogan, The Rock, just sitting in the ring, WrestleMania 18, all these, cameras flashing, it was such a huge moment. The Rock was still kind of his prime. Hogan's been back for a little bit, so I mean, it wasn't like he wasn't too old where he, hasn't wrestled. Like The Rock hasn't wrestled really that often when he came back to fight John Cena, so he hasn't had it. He hasn't done it for a while. Hogan was in the ring. It was just such a great moment with them just staring at each other. Then the very end match when The Rock wins, and they're holding their hands up together. They're doing the poses and all this stuff. Then NWO comes out, and Hogan kind of is like, "Oh, I'm a babyface now," and it was just such a great. I mean, he didn't come out and be like, "I'm a babyface now." Like, look at that. It was just such an awesome moment, man. Number 4, the Slam heard around the world. Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan. Now, I think. Not only with me, now obviously everyone picks up like the Big Show nowadays. Everyone just, John Cena just kind of picks him up, Edge picks him up. Everyone just picks up the Big Show. He's like nothing. But Andre the Giant was such a big guy, and nobody's really picked up the big guy before. And they did a great job by never having that, by making such a big moment, especially doing it at WrestleMania 3. I think there was like 80,000, 90,000 people in the crowd. And that just makes it even bigger, the eruption of hearing that. And to have Hogan try a few times throughout the match, then finally when he got it. And Andre the Giant was one of those people that, if he didn't want you to do it, he would hold himself down and you couldn't pick him up. But, he let him happen, let Hogan hit the leg drop then, win the title. And it's just one of those, I mean, that's one of those moments, again, that just, I hate always repeating something, but it's one of those moments that's still always going to be played on. That was a history-making moment. The biggest crowd WrestleMania, I think, has ever had to date, with one of the biggest WrestleMania moments. I mean, honestly, how can you not beat that almost? I mean, 90,000 people screaming for that moment, and now it's got its own thing, the Slam around the world. And they try to do it with, like, The Rock, when Rock, I think, gave the Rock Bottom John Cena WrestleMania 27. Oh, the Rock Bottom her around the world. Like, come on, WWE. Don't do that. That's not that cool. Number 4. No, sorry, that was number 4. Number 3, Ric Flair's last WWE match. Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels. I forgot which WrestleMania it was. I think it was 24, maybe 23. 23. Let's just take a shot in the dark for that. So, I didn't really watch Ric Flair. He was a WCW guy. When he was WWE, I don't know. He was all right. I never really cared for Ric Flair. I thought he was really energetic, really charismatic, but I never thought, like, wow, this guy's a great wrestler and all that stuff, especially being so old now at this point. But him and Shawn Michaels just pull off such an amazing match, such an emotional match, and his entrance was just so grand with the fireworks. It was outside, and he had the robe, and it was just such a great thing. And when he fought, Shawn Michaels, and he's asking Shawn Michaels, like, give me the sweet chin. Shawn Michaels like, I'm sorry, I love you. Kicks him in the face, boom, he goes down. Oh, it's just just amazing. It was just a feel good moment, because Ric Flair, had this huge long career, and it ended at that moment. It was just amazing, and it was something like that will just. I don't know if they'll ever have sending off someone with their final match like that ever again. I don't think that'll ever happen again. It was absolutely amazing. Number 2, WrestleMania 1. Now, I know it's like, oh, the whole WrestleMania isn't a moment. Yeah, no, it is. It was a great moment for wrestling, and that kind of started the whole pay-per-view, the whole big show. I mean, that started almost everything. That really is what changed the whole wrestling game, is WrestleMania 1, which Vince's brainchild, and it's absolutely amazing that they came up with that and did that, and they had all these stars here, and singers and dancers, and Mr. T was there, and Hogan was the main event. It was probably the only ever time we'll get a tag team match as the main event of WrestleMania, and not a world title match, but it's just crazy when you think about it. Like 30 years ago, that was WrestleMania 1. That's the thing that started it all today, and it's crazy. They should induct WrestleMania 1 into the Hall of Fame. I don't actually know, they probably shouldn't do that, but I don't know where I came from with that one, but still, WrestleMania 1 is just absolutely, it's just one of those moments. It's just that feeling, It could have had the worst matches, but it was just the feeling, all these people coming in, all this stuff happening for WrestleMania 1. Absolutely insane. Now, my number 1 moment for WrestleMania, and this is my personal opinion. I know WWE is totally going to disagree with this. WWE watches this video, they're going to comment and be like, I'm sorry, I don't think you had a number 1 moment on there. You just left with number 2, WrestleMania 1, so I'm just going to consider that WrestleMania moment. Some of you guys will be like, yes, this is absolutely WrestleMania moment. Some of you will probably be like, no, F you, it shouldn't be, but it was just I remember ordering this. It was the first WrestleMania I ordered since like WrestleMania 15. Chris Benoit winning the World Heavyweight title against Triple H, Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 20. Now, it wasn't just the fact that he won the title, they had the confetti coming down, but it was that, and it's weird because now his wife and his son with her came out, and that whole situation, but they came out there, then all of a sudden he turns around, all of a sudden Eddie Guerrero, we don't see Eddie Guerrero come out, he just standing there. Eddie Guerrero won the title the month before against Lesnar, but defended it against Kurt Angle in an amazing match. They just sit there, they hug, they hold the title, raise it, the confetti's dropping down, people are going crazy, and they didn't have the huge pyro because it was Madison Square Garden, so you couldn't really shoot off crazy like that. But it was just the confetti, and it was just filled everywhere, and it was just such a beautiful moment. It was such an amazing moment, and it's such a cherishable moment. Eddie Guerrero comes out, they're together, they're holding the titles together. It's just it's amazing. It really is. That's what it's all about. I mean, those feel-good moments is what WrestleMania is all about. That was a true WrestleMania moment. And, WWE may, if they ever do a WrestleMania moments, and after WrestleMania they do these WrestleMania moments, that moment's going to be ignored. But it truly is one of those moments that is one of the greatest. And that's why I felt like, it was the first one that came to mind, WrestleMania 20. I was like, oh, WrestleMania 20. Because I think that, in my mind, I think that's actually one of the best WrestleManias. Minus the Brock Lesnar-Goldberg match, which actually, I don't think they even fought at WrestleMania. They just kind of stared at each other at WrestleMania. But let's not end it talking about Lesnar and Goldberg, because that was just terrible. But it's just an amazing match. Just Chris Benoit had an amazing match, and that amazing moment, just holding the title. Eddie Guerrero. But that's my top 10 WrestleMania 30 moments. Top 10 WrestleMania 30 moments. That was not right. Top 10 WrestleMania moments. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree? Do you guys disagree? Do you guys think it should be different? What do you think? Throw on your top 10 if you want to make a comment below. What's the deal with your response? But, that's such a thing in the past. And we will see you guys later, probably when we do our WrestleMania 30 thing. So, rock and roll.